Kids learn using iPads, and a change could be coming to Barnstable school lunch on this episode of Barnstable Today. It's Wednesday, May 9th, 2012. I'm Sarah Colvin. The second floor hearing room here at Barnstable Town Hall was full of second graders, teachers, and their families for Tuesday night's school committee meeting. Superintendent Dr. Mary Tchaikovsky explains the students were there to update the committee on their progress using iPads to learn.
Second grade class, under the direction of Ms. Duran and Ms. Silks, have been working with our students, second graders, on an iPad pilot to talk about some of their work and what they've been able to do with utilizing an iPad. We had a cart, an iPad cart of 20 individual iPads that were delivered right before Christmas to the students, and they're here this evening to share a little bit about their experiences.
The students then took to the mic to share their own experiences.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Let me tell you how the iPad had helped me. When I come to school, I feel like a professor. When I teach kids, teachers, and people who need help with the iPad.
I don't give up when something's challenging. I persevere and go on my iPad and figure it out. When I go to school, I feel like a teacher. We can travel around the world on Google Earth. When I grow up, I want to change the world by letting everyone be free. I learned that on the iPad, a lot of people are not free in the world.
The iPads let me learn about the world on Google Earth. I even found my old house. When I grow up, I want to change the world by helping the homeless people all over the world. I can use the Google Earth app to find where I need to go.
The students surprised Dr. Tchaikovsky with a digital book chronicling a day in the life of our school superintendent they made on their iPads. The project manager for work at BWB also made a presentation during Tuesday's meeting.
My name is Chad Crittenden. I'm the owner's project manager for PMA Consultants and your West Barnstable window project. Let me take you right from the beginning. So in that handout, you'll see two pictures of the completed areas. The one on the left is in the cafeteria. The one on the right is in the gymnasium. You might notice the far right window in the cafeteria is not complete. We actually, it was fabricated incorrectly by the manufacturer, so that's on order. They'll have that in shortly. On the second page here, you'll see a cash flow curve. So currently, we are about 60% expended in the total project budget, and a little bit higher on just the construction portion. The reason this is a little bit higher is because the materials are all paid up front. It's all stored on site. The other thing you might note there is that there was no invoice processed for the month of April, and that's due to, I don't know if you heard, we had them do some remedial work in the current installation, so we're kind of taking two steps backwards. Gonna take a look at everything that was done, write down the blocking details, flashing details, the general QA, QC items. The page after that, you'll see just a monthly cash projection. Obviously, April, we don't have any billing, so that's gonna push out a little bit into July, which is your next slide on the handout here. This is an updated master schedule that I actually just received from the general contractor a few hours ago, so I haven't had a chance to make my rebuttal to it. This has him projecting a mid-July completion date. I'm going to do everything I can to push him to beat this date, whether it's overtime, increased manpower. This was news to me. I expected him to push out a couple weeks. I didn't think I was going to see mid-July. So there will be a response from my office to this schedule, and I expect them to beat this date. For progress to date, they've completed work in the cafeteria, the kitchen, gymnasium, the administration area. 2 student bathrooms are in progress now, nearly complete. The lobby windows are done, and the first 2 classrooms windows have been removed, still need to be replaced. You'll see that in the next couple weeks. And they've also completed about half a dozen exterior doors. In all, they're probably about 20% complete, but some of that, they need to go back and correct those punch list items that I briefly mentioned earlier. So in the next few weeks, you'll see them going back to some of the items, so the gym, the lobby, the administration area, correcting some of the deficiencies, and then they'll move forward with the classroom installs per the schedule in your handout. As far as the budget goes, we shouldn't see a budget impact on this. We're kind of reforecasting manpower to get us through, and we can handle a late June completion. I need to discuss with the architect and commissioning agent. I don't anticipate a cost impact. I'll certainly keep you posted if that changes. As far as changes to date, it's very minimal. There's $48,000 in project contingency. We haven't processed any changes to date, but there are probably a few thousand out there in unforeseen conditions, just different head details, but it's minimal, so I don't see any problems there.
During her report, Dr. Mary Chakowski spoke about new state regulations on nutrition that will soon go into effect and how those regulations could impact Barnstable.
Thank you. You're going to be receiving, actually at our next meeting in June, Dustin O'Brien is going to be coming forward to talk a little bit and give you an overview of our food service program. I did have a meeting with a woman by the name of Bernadette Patinsky, and she is in business development at Aramark, and talked a little bit about more healthy kinds of foods, particularly at the elementary level. And she's going to get me some price. Right now, our students at the elementary level pay about $2.10 a meal. And probably in comparison to surrounding communities, we're probably the lowest. So she's going to be proposing a couple of different sample menus around with some price increases to see what that would look like. And in addition to that, today we had an elementary principals meeting, and it was brought to our attention there's some new regulations that are coming out, and each of you are going to receive a copy of this. I've asked Dustin to provide additional copies, and this actually goes into effect August 1st, and it's new federal guidelines actually put out by DPH, Department of Public Health, around requirements for our food service program. They have a sample letter with parents, as well as, you know, the impact on what this means with respect to what we can sell in our school and during fundraising and boosters and so on and so forth. And if you heard on this morning's news, it was sort of all over the news about these new guidelines. And once again, you know, I look at it as who's going to police this? Another unfunded mandate to deal with. And I'm not saying that, you know, child obesity isn't a concern. But once again, some of the standards that, you know, have been set forth and that now we have to monitor these within our school around saturated fat, sugars, and so on and so forth, it's going to require some education on the part of the school district, along with parents, and along with some of our fundraising activities. These are not requirements that Barnstable Public Schools are putting forward, but they're requirements by the Massachusetts Department of Public Health and the federal Department of Food and Service Programs. So it's something that's coming forward, but you'll have an opportunity to read this. I'll hopefully have a copy of each of this for you before, within probably the next 2 weeks, so that you can sort of read it and take a look at it before the June meeting, in which Dustin will come forward and give you a little bit more information.
Those changes will be further discussed when the school committee meets again in June. Barnstable This Morning will soon be changing. We've got all the details for you right now. I'm Sarah Colvin.
And I'm Melissa Chartrand.
Barnstable This Morning, the town's daily news and information program, is about to change. Here at Channel 18, we're committed to bringing you the latest in news and information about our town, whether it be town council decisions, changes to policy made by our 40-plus boards and commissions, or our town leaders answering the questions you have. We're here to keep you informed.
For more than 2 years, Barnstable This Morning has featured interviews with our town leaders like Town Manager Tom Lynch, DPW Director Mark Els, and Town Council President Fred Chirigotis. We've also heard from our local legislators and educators in Barnstable and beyond.
While we'll continue to bring you valuable interviews with our town leaders, we're also planning to broaden our scope of news coverage. When you tune in at 7 a.m. on May 21st, you'll see a brand new look for Barnstable This Morning. More news, a faster pace, while still bringing you the information you need to start the day off right.
So bear with us while we work to improve and enhance Barnstable This Morning. We'll be back on May 21st with our brand new show.
In the meantime, enjoy our Barnstable Today news program. We look forward to keeping you up to date right here on Channel 18.